Grade 12, common mistakes that you must avoid. This is non-negotiable. You must read your instructions. If you are going to read your instructions, the instructions will tell you what is going to be required of you to do in the paper. In the instructions, they always say, show all your calculations. And it means that you must show all your calculations and not just right answers. It is very important that you start every new question on a new page. So question 1, you will start on a new page. When you are through doing all the subsections of question 1, you will do section 2 on a new question 2 on a new page, and so you go on. Please also, in the subsections between 1.1 and 1.2, skip at least one line. But if you can skip 2 or 3, it can also be good. Remember, you are writing that paper with a number. So the person marking your paper is not going to know whose paper it is that he or she is marking. Definitely your teacher is definitely not going to mark your paper. So this person, make it easy for the marker. Make it easy so the marker can read. Write neatly and legibly. Your teachers are used to your handwritings. So please write so that a person who is not used to your handwriting can also read it very clearly. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is rounding off. It is usually stated in the instructions that you must round off to 2 decimal places unless stated otherwise. So, please, grade 12, check if it's 2 decimal places, you round off to 2 decimal places. I'm going to give you from now on a few things that you must go and check for me before you write tomorrow. This is the first thing. You must go and check that you can do rounding off. If you cannot do rounding off, or if you have questions about rounding off, make a note about it so that you go and ask your teacher and that you practice it. Okay. You must also be able to round off to the nearest whole number or to the nearest 10 if it is specified. Please also make sure that you can do that. Do not forget to submit your annexures. Like I have already explained, your teachers are not part of your examination. They are also not going to be part when you are going to write. They are not allowed in the exam room. So, grade 12, these annexures, if we don't get them at the end of the day at the marking center, we cannot mark them. So it's very important, and it is absolutely imperative that you as a person must see to it that those annexures are in your answer book. Okay. Make sure when you give in it is there. Read all the given information before answering the questions. Grade 12, many of you are writing this paper tomorrow in a language which is different from your mother tongue. So you are going to have to read your questions very carefully. I will even advise you to read it twice. Okay? And if you understand Afrikaans, you can turn the paper around and even read it in Afrikaans if that is going to help you. Unfortunately, it's the only 2 languages that you will get now on the paper. So you are going to read the question and then try to make sense of the question. Don't just rush in and start answering without thinking what it is that you are actually doing. Okay. Grade 12, formulas are going to be provided. Please use the formulas as they are on the question paper. If on the question paper the formula says 2 times length plus breadth, you must not change it to 2 times length times breadth. You must use the formula as it is given to you on the paper. Okay. Remember to add your units to your final answer. Those units are very important. Sometimes in the question they say that the answer must be in a specific unit. If you have such an instruction, please adhere to it. The calculator. You can use a scientific calculator or an ordinary adding machine. It is just important that you have a calculator and that the calculator that you have, that you know how to use it. So please practice from today and every day onward now till you write paper 1, paper 2, with the calculator that you're going to use in the exam. Don't run in there with a calculator that you haven't used before, and then when you switch it on, you don't know because it is in a wrong mode or something like that. All right. And also make sure that your calculator is operational. In other words, that it works out the answers correctly. You must also be fluent in using a calculator. And then just something, please, we are asking you this one. Many times in the examination we refer to a dozen. And it seems as if many learners think that a dozen is 6. No, grade 12, a dozen is 12. And you must remember that. We don't know if it's going to be in the paper, but we are reminding you. A dozen of anything, a dozen of eggs, a dozen of oranges is 12. Okay. You have 3 hours to complete the paper, so you are going to answer every question. You're going to sit and you are going to try. Grade 12, when you are preparing for tomorrow,